is the Doublet Special Master.
Live and direct.
Breakfast with CubCamTV.
Trickstar Radio.
What's happening, people? Once again, welcome back to Breakfast with Kovu here on Trickstar Radio. We're back doing video interviews, which I'm very, very excited to do. And today we are joined by two people I've been looking to get on the show for a hot minute. They've been on the show before. We've obviously featured a lot of their music over the last couple of years we've been running. Vital Techniques join us live on the line. How are you doing, guys?
Let's go! Yeah, we're good, bro. How are you doing? You alright, yeah?
I'm great, mate. I'm great. It's good to get you on the line. It's good to have you on a call as well. Obviously, we've got you on a couple of features today. We've got you in for the interview. We've got you in for the midweek wind-up. But it's been a while since we've spoken on the show. So talk to me about the last sort of year or so, because it seems to be quite a crazy time for everyone. How have things been your end?
I don't know. I guess lockdown naturally presented a sticky situation for us all. It removed gigs, but in doing that, creatively opened up a new world. It allowed us to expand our dynamic. Like we ventured into a lot more vocal arrangements, catered more towards, I guess, radio play than club events. So the time was presented to us, give us an opportunity to expand in that sense. But naturally, we miss gigs. You want to play music to a crowd, and it's a platform in itself. Promotion. People here are tuning a club, go back to the kitchen or the living room, whatever. Search it on Spotify, and we kind of naturally lost a promotion tool, I think. But we're good to be back in gigs, isn't it?
100%. Yeah, we've used the time well over lockdown, as we say. We've produced probably some of the best and the most amount of music that we have done over the past couple of years. To be honest, we sat on a hell of a lot of music, which I'm sure we'll run through in this, what we've got forthcoming out. But yeah,
probably planning into 2023. Not even 2022. We're light years ahead.
I mean, this is the kind of thing with lockdown. Obviously, there were a lot of negatives, obviously, affecting primarily sort of nightlife and things like that, and obviously the income of DJs and things along those lines. However, as you said, it did open up a couple of opportunities, and it did kind of move the kind of goalposts a little bit for a few people, and different areas people could explore. You spoke a little bit about sort of vocal arrangement. Do you want to talk to me a bit more about that, the sort of thing that entails?
Yeah, I guess we've always liked the garage sound, and I guess lockdown just helped us delve a bit further into not just making the club movers and stuff like that, allowing us to make. I guess it's like a tune versus a song, is the way we see it. Like making a song, making something that kind of breaches the borders of I don't know, just of the range. Like when you go to a club, a lot of people they live for the drop. It's all about the drop these days. You listen to radio and you want a catchy vocal, you want a melody, you want everything to gel together. So it's just kind of branching all that together, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. That's something that I've actually noticed in the tracks you've been making since lockdown's coming. I've been noticing a lot more of those sort of vocal layers. I've been noticing that more sort of radio-friendly catering, shall we say, in some of the arrangements, which I always think is a good thing at the end of the day. You want a tune that people are going to be able to remember for more than just how it made them feel in front of the sound.
Still keeping the authenticity as well, and without selling out. It's still original and true to us. It's our own unique twist on the old garage sound, keeping the authenticity, but bringing our own unique twist to it, our own sound.
100%, man. And again, obviously, you spoke about being back in, back playing gigs, back playing shows. Just describe to me what that's been like being back in that environment, because I know myself, it's something I've really enjoyed, both as a fan and a performer. How have you found it your end?
It's been wicked. It's been absolutely amazing. One of the first ones that we did was going back out to Outlook Festival in Croatia, just at the end of summer. So we've been residents there now since 2012, I think it was. So we're cracking on a bit now, and for us to miss a year there, it hurt. It felt like the whole year had just been destroyed in a sense. You completely lose sense.
That's our one little thing every year, isn't it? That we
get to look forward to that every year. Know that we're flying out to Croatia, playing to some immense crowds, and to have that back again this year, that in itself was epic. We've been lucky enough to travel quite a lot of places, haven't we, so far around the UK since lockdown's been lifted. Been up in Cumbria, we've been in Wales, Brighton, Sheffield, Yorkshire, obviously, Leeds, our hometown. Got a couple of residencies there, so yeah, it's been good, man.
It's been really good to be back. Burning a candle at both ends, like, but
I was gonna
work
say,
hard, play hard.
I was gonna say, there's something that I've noticed when I'm talking to people about this. It does almost feel like a lot of people's rave stamina, shall we say, has almost been sort of depleted. Have you found that happening with you guys, or are you still pretty much?
I think we're more the other way, man. I think we're more the other side, like ready to go harder. I think.
That makes sense, man. It does make sense. I mean, again, the question I'm asking a lot of people is, what have you noticed that's kind of different returning to the dances? Because obviously people have grown, people have changed. There are different people in the dances. Everyone's a year and a half
getting older, bro.
Yeah. What would you say the thing you've noticed the most is about actually returning?
I'm getting older, or the crowds are getting younger, mate.
Yeah, really
like
young
2 years have gone in a flash with lockdown. 2 years have just disappeared. And yeah, it's like a glitch in the Matrix, man. Just 2 years, flash, bang, gone. But nah, it's like I said, on the promotion side, like you sit and you work all this time spent in the studio making music, and the overall aim is for people to hear the music. When it's all online and radio, you know it's being seen and appreciated and heard, but you don't get to see it. You get to see firsthand in the club. You get to see the reaction, people going off it, and that's what we live for. Seeing people going nuts to your music, calling for the rewind, all that, like that's the reinforcement that you want. Like online, it's all good, and we know that the music's getting out there and doing bits and being seen, but when you can fully appreciate it right in front of you, that's in its senses. I guess what we all live for as artists and creatives.
100%, man. It's something that can't be recreated. Even though people have tried different ways, people have tried online shows, people have tried sort of intimate settings. There's nothing that quite hits like playing in a club to a packed out crowd and actually seeing people react to the stuff you're making. 100% agree.
And we did a few socially distanced gigs as well, but even that was like, we make music to dance to. Do you know what I mean? Like, we make music to dance, so when people are getting told to sit down, you feel bad as the person, even though it's not your fault. It's crowd control, and we understood that it was difficult for promoters, for security. Everyone was struggling at the same time. I'm sure we spoke to a few security people that we know, and they hated having to tell people to sit down. Yeah. Because usually, if people are working security, well, in a lot of venues that we know, the security are people that have been in music as well or had some history with it, and they don't want to be telling people to sit down. So, yeah, we did the socially distanced thing and that, and people had to try and work with the times, I guess, and the situation at hand. But no, it's good to be sweating it out with all the ravers again. And
back where we all belong. Back where we all belong. But there we go. We're going to get into a bit of a discussion about more futuristic stuff and what's on the way next. Then we're going to jump into a tune. It goes by the name First Time, and we're going to be back the other side of that to break it down and obviously the project that it is a part of. So do keep it locked, people. We're live on Trickstar Radio. This is Breakfast with Kovu, the interview hour on the line with Vital Techniques. Keep it locked. What's happening, people? We're back inside the building once again. Breakfast with Kovu here on Trickstar Radio, doing some video interview content for you because why not? And I'm really excited to talk to these guys on the phone today. Vital Techniques join us, and we just listened to an absolute corker of a tune that goes by the name First Time. Now, with this one, it's a tune that immediately stood out to me. It's a tune that is a very important tune in regards to what you guys are currently working on. So do you want to talk me through, first of all, the project that this is a part of? Because I know this is it's a big thing for you guys.
Yeah, well, we had Vital Vibes, the volume 1, I guess it is now. We put out our biggest project to date, and 6 tracks in an EP. We wanted to kind of showcase a bit of like the broader spectrum of the, like we said before, about the musicality, the vocal work. And yeah, it went down really well. We got a lot of airtime on Radio 1 and 1 Extra. As a result of it, one of the tracks got a lot of traction. And like we said before, with lockdown and everything that we were sat on, it just made natural sense to have the follow-up. We had so much music sat there, we were able to collate a kind of similar project. Yeah. And yeah, it seemed a natural progression, didn't it, to give the people another volume, another big project. I guess it's like an album if you put the two together, but
yeah, this is
something I was going to touch on. You know what I mean?
It's what I was going to touch on, because it does seem when you combine this track listing with the second, obviously the previous track listing, you are sitting on a big chunk of tunes, a big length of time of tunes as well. Yeah. These are all full-length projects. They're not sort of throwaway tunes. They're big, full, like as I said, full projects. And the thing that I found really interesting is there's such a cohesive sort of feel, despite the fact that all the tracks do have their different elements, they all have their different sort of influences rolling in. There's a really cohesive sort of bubbly kind of colourful vibe going on within the sort of composition. Would you think that's something that you've done intentionally, or is it something you've just sort of naturally stumbled onto?
So
I think it's
probably a bit of both, to be honest. I know, especially with the first Vital Vibes, we used some similar sounds across a couple of the tunes on there, which tied them together perfectly. Obviously, all in their own right, different basses, etc. But a lot of the melodical sounds and influences were consistent across them. So on this one, we've gone for a similar again, as it's a follow-up project. We wanted to make sure it at least betters or is on par with the first one, because we know how well that did. I personally think we've gone above and beyond on this. I'm really, really proud of this piece of work.
Yeah, and thank you for saying for what you just said, because I think all you can want to do as a producer and as a creative is make bodies of work or different works that come together as a body, and have someone say that regardless of them all being different, that they sound. That means to us that we've got a sound.
100%.
And it's sometimes hard to see that when you're so involved. We're locked in here all the time, and it's tunnel vision. And you people like yourself saying it, we've heard a few people say before, you can tell the Vital Technique sound. And to us, that's all we can ask for, because we are just so tunnel vision that sometimes it's very easy to forget what's outside the walls.
There's a lot of blood, sweat and tears behind the curtain.
Well, I mean, this is something else I wanted to touch on. Now, obviously, I've been following what you guys have been doing for over 10 years at this point, because I remember playing tunes from yourself when I was a nipper, basically, when I was a youngster, like way back when. The main sort of thing with that I want to kind of ask is, what would you say the thing that has changed the most about your sound is in that time? Because obviously loads of genres have kind of come and gone. We've had the influx of UK bass, the return of garage, but you guys have always kind of had this very sort of lively sort of sound that's somewhere between 130 and 140 a lot of the time, but a lot of sort of LFO influence in there as well. Like, what is the sort of thing that you would say has changed the most?
I don't know, that when we started doing Vital Techniques in 2010 and started the label and stuff, we were very confident in pushing the boundaries. Like, obviously nowadays it's very normal for DJs and producers to be multi-genre. When we started doing it, it was frowned upon. If you did drum and bass, you did drum and bass, and that was it. And if you delved into another genre, it was almost seen as selling out, let's call it in quotation marks. But we always thought, we've always liked so much music. We've got an eclectic taste. So if we like this, we're going to play this. If we like that, we're going to make that. And forget the walls, forget the boundaries. Don't be pigeonholed. And that's obviously come into play a lot more across the scene now. Everyone's doing a bit of everything. And I guess just because we stuck to our guns and we're always somewhere in between the 130, 140 and just doing what made us happy, I guess that must have shone through. Yeah. And we've just stayed true to ourselves, I guess, and just made what we enjoy and hope other people like the similar things that we like.
We've always been open to other genres, and we've never wanted to pigeonhole ourselves. We never will. We sit down, some days I come in, we want to make dubstep, we'll make dubstep. Some days we come in, we're making a really happy, light garage tune. It's just, we've got no boundaries, and that's part of the enjoyment, to be honest. That's the thrill that we get out of making music.
Don't get me wrong, there was a point where I thought, like, as an artist, do you want to have a sound like, if you listen to, I don't know, Dub Physics, Sam Bing or someone like that, you know whether to expect the role as the halftime, or like, a lot of artists have a sound. We wanted to do so much music and not be pigeonholed, and that's why, again, going back to where you said you can still hear your sound, means so much to us, because whilst breaking the borders and the boundaries and taking the walls away, to still have a sound across so many genres and it be seen and appreciated, that's all we can seriously ask for.
No, 100%. And for me, from a fan's perspective, that's always the thing that I look for in artistry, is that ability. There's certain artists I always mention in that sort of bracket. Disclosure are a great example. Red Light's another great example. They're people that can take their sound anywhere. On a sort of, even on a major scale, and it still sound like them. So it is a really, really good thing. Now, obviously, off the back of that, this is the EP that is landing on Friday. There's 6 tracks on there. We're going to be getting into a guest mix a bit later on from yourself to kind of look for a few of the tracks on there and some other things that you're working on. But before we do that, I want to ask, what is on the way for yourselves? Because obviously you've said you've got loads of music plugged away. I know you're quite involved with a few other sort of artist groups as well. So talk to me about what's dropping in the future.
Busy. Well, Garage Shed have just dropped Lessons, which got coldest record on Radio 1 on Saturday night, so buzzing about that. It's kind of set up really nice for Vital Vibes 2, which is out on our label on Friday, Second to None Music. That'll be available to buy and stream, all 6 tracks, so that's kind of set us up nicely for that. And then big up Peeny Man, MC Peen, our front man, the third piece to the puzzle. We've just finished shooting a video for a grime tune with him, like a grime dubstep crossover. Snakes and Adders, that will be coming in December. What else? So much.
We've got a tune in the pipeline with Devilman, a UK-based tune.
Yeah, we've got
so that one's finished off. Not secured a signing yet, but it's in the talks, so we'll be able to provide info on that one soon.
We've got a garage tune with Logan, which is big.
Logan as well.
We've got a dubstep EP, which we're just figuring out where it's going. There's loads happening, man. Absolutely loads. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Trying to sort of plan with all these lockdown tunes. We literally just got a massive folder. We've got to work through the plan. Some plans in place, some still to come, and a lot more music still to finish as well.
And obviously, Hold Me, out now on South Point.
Yeah.
Love that tune as well. Shout out to everyone that's been supporting that one. Obviously, when we're on about the different sides, like that is such a meditating kickback track. It's one of my personal favourites, to be honest.
It's a tune that I really liked as well, to be honest. if you weren't able to tell. But yeah, obviously, kind of off the back of that, then, guys, we are going to jump into your guest mix in just a second. So if you can give me one word each to describe what we can expect over the next 30 minutes, let's go.
Energy.
Mine might as well tie it into the EP. Vibes.
There we go. Energy and vibes. What more could you ask
Vital
for?
Vibes, shouldn't it?
Fantastic stuff, guys. It's been great to chat to you today. Thanks for jumping on the line with us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for having us again, man.
Each and every time. Keep it locked, people. We're about to jump into the midweek wind-up next. We are live on the Big Bad Trickstar Radio. This is Breakfast with KXVU. Don't go anywhere.
This is Breakfast with KXVU, bringing you their morning flavors on Trickstar Radio.
Trickstar Radio.